Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Doing a video that was requested, and it's more so a video about teaching beginners how to drift. Somebody that has never drifted before, somebody that, you know, doesn't really have any idea. I've done tuning videos, if there's something that you want to see, that's just clicking bars, easily setting numbers, stuff that you can, you know, copy and paste. This video is going to be more so about some of the different handlings and the different instincts and stuff that you kind of pick up over a long period of playing. Um, I'm going to start everybody with this car. I've been pushing this car and promoting this car. This is the 1967 Ford Escort barn find. Now, this is going to be a longer video, so I hope that you stick around. I hope that you can pick up some information and some different tips and tricks that I've learned over the years. um, First and foremost, I always recommend setting this house. This house has a great little run here. You can kind of test cars out very well. Now that's neither here nor there. What I am going to do though is I'm going to turn on the telemetry. It's going to let you guys see my steering. It's going to let you see what gear I'm in, when I'm hitting the clutch. And again, you don't need to use clutch. It does get you out of mind a lot of the time. Don't need to. Now, something I want to start right off the bat, anytime you're following behind another car, you're following behind somebody else that's drifting, if they're doing a good job with it, they're not going to be full lock the other direction all the way. You're going to see their wheel kind of bouncing back and forth. Reason for that is, this game is not realistic. If you're on a steering wheel, you're going to be able to hold it at a certain angle, so that way, you can best plan for that car. You can be a little bit smoother on the intake and outtake, but it is very difficult to learn on as well. There's a few different ways to initiate a drift. Now, this car drifts in a bit of a higher gear. You can come up to a corner, turn, and just hit the gas, and that'll get you sideways. You almost immediately want to be counter steering. See how, like, as soon as my tail goes, you can see the thing at the top? Automatically counter steering. You want to control your angle and control where your car goes, more so with your throttle. Your steering inputs, those slight taps back and forth, when you're just tapping the wheel to keep yourself in line, that's just, think of that as like your training wheels. You really want to use, again, the gas. When you are going this way, you turn, you can throttle and break loose. It's hard to do it on a straightaway, so I'll get up to a little bit of and I'm going to try to do this all in one video. I don't mind doing the editing and stuff like that, but I also feel like it's not as raw, it's not as real. And if that turns some people away, hey, so be it. People ask for this video quite often, and I'm trying to oblige. So again, fourth gear, coming into a corner. I haven't even touched the e-brake. I haven't touched the clutch. It's really just about that throttle control. You want to get into sliding, you're not using the gas. You want to prolong your drift. So say we're coming up on this corner up here. You're going to see me grab the clutch and the e-brake for anybody using just manual. Just the clutch, just the e-brake. Now if you look at the tire tracks, you can see all of them are looping all the way around. But as soon as I grab that clutch and e-brake, straight lines you see from the tires. So those straight lines are going to be what's carrying your drift to that extra length. I really recommend trying to learn as best you can, without having to do this. It's nice to set yourself up, and it's nice to get yourself that extra lane. You're just first learning. It can be a lot to take in. You can just get yourself sideways and hold that angle and just tap to keep yourself from going around. You don't have to hold full lock. Tapping will help you, and then over time it'll get to the point where you're going to hold it longer. You can drift on a really hard angle with a lot of oversteer, or you can drift on a really light angle, a little oversteer, or a little countersteer, excuse me. That's the beauty of drifting. It's all about style. It's not about what's right and what's wrong. There's so many ways to do it. It's very difficult to say that's the right way, that's the wrong way. In this game, your biggest measure is points. And you can come into this drift section. There's a drift section right up here. Anytime I'm doing that, I'm going to loop the throttle, and, I am points drifter. That's what I'm good at. But you don't have to do it that way. If that's something you want to learn, it's all about stretching as long as you can, taking as wide of corners as you can. Touch your back wheels in that grass. Sometimes you'll get punished for it. You'll take points away from it. You can correct yourself. If you don't have enough angle, or you have too much angle, you don't think you're going to make the corner. So, like, say I'm coming in on this corner and I'm not going to make it. Straighten yourself out and then whip it back in again. It's a lot of difficult things to learn right off the bat. Best way to really learn and to figure it out. I'm not sure how good this roundabout is, but a roundabout's a very good spot to, start with the further in a section, or you know what? How about we start with the furthest section? Get into a good gear where you don't need a whole lot of throttle in. See, like I'm at kind of hovering. Just get yourself to a point where you're tapping, you're staying in one lane the whole way around. And it's nice because this game has this kind of stuff. Back when I learned on motorsport, it's a lot more hardcore. There wasn't any drift suspension, so there wasn't that extra steering angle. You don't need any e-brake for this. See what gear feels better. If you're in 6th gear, and it's still going fine, you're not bogging out. Great. You see how we're at 100% throttle there? Drift it down to 5th, I can really just keep a nice steady throttle. And then at that point, work your way in. Work your way into the next lane. And that's going to require a little bit more precision because you're doing a tighter circle. You're going to have to require a little bit more oversteer, a little bit more correction. If you've noticed, I haven't turned my wheel left in any way to go left. It's power oversteer and then correction. To get the hang of that, move it in, and then really move it. Try to get up on that curve as close as you can. There's a lot of little tips and tricks that can help you. And this is a little bit more of an advanced thing, but when you get to a certain point, if you can run one tire on the curb, and it's got to be done right. It's not going to happen every time. Even I don't get it every time, trust me. But this is the kind of stuff that, like, when you're doing one-line points drifting, and you think, I can't make that corner, I don't have enough power. If you ride a curb, it'll actually kind of hook you in, think initial D, and pull you along the curb. So you can turn a corner that, I just don't have enough power to get this corner done, to a corner that you have no trouble with. I know it's a lot to take in, and please feel free to ask me questions in the comments. It's a tough thing to teach somebody, without being able to respond right away. I do stream on YouTube, on Twitch, pretty much. I used to say every day. My daughter's been a little difficult lately, so it's tough to do every day. But this is a really good beginner car because it's not super overpowered. You're not going to be scoring the best points possible. With that being said, I have hit a few leaderboards with this car on dirt tracks. Some cars are just very good because they're not as responsive to the changes in terrain, and they tend to drift normal like you're on the road. So keep that in mind if you ever are doing the dirt zones. This car is really good. I'm gonna pull out one other car that I think is a good. I use it for. It's not a Volvo. It's a Toyota. I use the Supra. It's got 700 horsepower, 758 torque, and it's actually got snow tires on it. So what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to get a lot more slide out of the car, and allow you to use that 700 horsepower. You put drift tires on this thing, where the drift tires want to grip. You can see I really don't need a whole lot of throttle input. I'm in 4th gear and I'm just cruising, and it'll slide. But what this does though is it slows down the pace. If you can go at a slower pace, and if you want to go even slower, you can turn up the tire pressure a bit more. That'll help you out as well. This will slow down the pace though. This is great for beginners. I use this car in public lanes quite often. The only way I could get it to an 800 was for snow tires, but it's really enjoyable to drive. It's something that you can take out with your friends. It still drives straight. If you want to go crazy with it, I'm not doing it any justice at the moment. But I do want to reiterate, those gentle, subtle taps on the steering wheel. Those gentle, subtle taps, that's what's going to get you. It's going to get you better and improving in this game. You're never going to be doing full lock. Even in my best cars, I'm rarely in full lock. And the reason for that is because it's a controller. It's in real life you're able to adjust the wheel and have it at half angles and stuff like that. It's really tough to do that on a controller. It's just not possible. So please, if you guys have any other questions or any other concerns, I will link the share codes for the. Excuse me. I will share the share codes for these 2 cars in the description on the video. Once I learn how to talk again, please leave any comments or any concerns or any other kind of. If you think there's something that can help somebody else, if there's something that you did, if there's something that a certain car or a certain way that it's built, a certain part of the track, or a certain part of the lane, if there's something that really helped you, leave a comment. You don't know who that'll reach. You don't know who that'll help. I'm not about keeping any information from anyone. I don't care if it's my information or somebody else's. You know, if it helps somebody, great. That's what I started this YouTube channel for. And it can be discouraging, you know, not getting a crazy amount of people in, but it doesn't mean that I should stop doing it. So, I'm probably going to end it there. You know, you guys have a great day, and I appreciate you jumping in. Thanks, guys.